Phil Jackson said that for a team to win a championship, they need to reach 40 wins before 20 losses. Now, I believe 91% of championship teams reached that mark. Currently, there is only 3 teams that reach that mark, maybe 4 if the Celtics can pull through here, and one of those teams is the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons have taken a huge jump. They even surprised me, a diehard Pistons fan. At the beginning of the season, I ranked them as maybe the 3rd or 4th best team in the Eastern Conference. And I mean, they've completely blown that out of the water. They are clearly the best team in the Eastern Conference. And all of this is so crazy to say because just 2 years ago, this team was the laughingstock of the NBA. 3 years ago, this team was the laughingstock of the NBA. Hell, for the past 20 years, this team has basically just been the laughingstock of the NBA. But this year, they finally turned it around, and I think they could genuinely win the championship this year. Now, obviously, I have to start with Cade Cunningham. To win a championship nowadays, you need a clear and faraway superstar on your team. Looking at the past few championships, every single team has had that guy. SGA, Jokic, right? All of these players can elevate when they need to. And the Pistons have that player in Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is extremely effective in the half court, which makes him extremely deadly in the playoffs. I think he will show the entire world how deadly he can be in the playoffs this year after he got his first taste last year. He's an elite pacemaker in the NBA. He controls the pace better than basically anyone. And not only that, but he's not just an offensive guard. I don't have to tell you that. You guys can watch the defensive highlights yourself. Being a big guard makes it a little bit easier on you. He gets blocks. He gets steals. He can actually put pressure on the ball if he needs to. He's not a liability in any sense of the word. Now, this video is coming after that Spurs loss. All right, let's talk about that because I know Cade shot 5 of 25, right? Listen, he had Castle on him the whole game. He had Wemby in the paint. He is a mid-range scorer, and it just didn't work out for him that night. But I can guarantee if they were to play a 4, 5, 6 game series, he would not shoot like that on a night-to-night basis. Just looking at his shot selection and just watching the game, he had a bad game overall. Obviously, Castle forced him into bad shots, Wemby forced him into bad shots, but normally he does not get pushed around like that. He's not taking stupid mid-range shots, he's not taking stupid threes, he's not trying to get to the paint in stupid ways on a defender like Wemby. I don't want to cope in any way, but I think if Stu was out there, it would have been a lot different. I think he would have been able to contain Wemby a little bit. And even though Cade didn't have a good game, the Pistons were still in it for most of the game, thanks to their second star, Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren has taken a huge step this year, and honestly, I didn't really expect it. He's kind of a traditional big. I didn't really think he would take this big of a leap without improving his shooting a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong, if you watch the Pistons a little bit, you know his mid-range jumper can be lethal at times. So I think he still has a lot of space to get better. But right now, I mean, he is clearly a great center. He's pretty good offensively when he calls for the ball and asks for shots, right? But that's not really what's special about him. He is a good rebounder, and he's a great defender. Him and Isaiah Stewart are one of the best rim protecting duos in the entire NBA. Now mix Cade Cunningham, Duren, Stu with a roster full of shooters and energy guys, and you have this Pistons team, right? This Pistons team is scrappy. They're extremely good on the defensive side of the ball, and they can make their shots. They have a lot of ways to win basketball games, and that's extremely important come playoff time. Now, in my personal opinion, there's only maybe 4 teams that I could see winning the championship. And if I had to rank them, I would probably put the Pistons second. Now, obviously, there's a few other teams that could win the championship. OKC is definitely number 1 for me, and I do have the Spurs at number 3. I will be making a video on both of those teams coming soon. But realistically, the reason why I have this this team going further than the Spurs is the Spurs are a first-year playoff team. There's a lot of people on their roster that don't really have much playoff experience, and I think that they need that playoff experience. I think this is their OKC versus the Mavs year, right? The year before they win the championship, and they can go into the playoffs, see what is wrong with them, and get that fixed for the upcoming season, and maybe have a real championship level run. But they learned from their mistakes. Everyone got better internally. They picked up a shooter in Duncan Robinson. They did lose Malik Beasley, which is sad. And I'm especially high on this team just in the Eastern Conference. I don't see any team in the Eastern Conference really giving this team a run for their money. I think this could be a finals run for them. Now, it's a whole different conversation when you get to the Spurs and the OKC Thunder and the Nuggets and the Rockets, right? That's obviously, those are way better teams than anyone in the East. The only team that I'm somewhat afraid of in the East is the Celtics if Tatum comes back. The Celtics have given the Pistons trouble this year, and I am nervous if Tatum could come back at even 80%. I think they could make some noise as well, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. I'm going to make a video about them as well. Now, I just raved about the Pistons for like 6 or 8 minutes. I don't know. We got to talk about the problems with this team. I've watched every single Pistons game, and this team has quite a little bit of problems. This team's offense can stall at any moment. If Cade Cunningham is not getting stuff going for the entire team, this whole thing can stall. People just won't be making shots. Cade Cunningham is very crucial to this team. Now, they do have a pretty good backup point guard in, Sasser and also Jenkins. They can dish the rock, they can score on their own, but those are two young guys, and they don't have much playoff experience, so I'm nervous to see what they do in the playoffs. Asar Thompson currently isn't really doing much on the offensive side of the ball. He still needs some time to develop his shot a little more, just like Amen Thompson. Ron Holland as well, he has some nights where he can adequately score the ball and get to the free throw line and play great defense, and then some nights it just seems like he's doing nothing out there. He's just fouling. Teams can take advantage of that. If you go against the Knicks, obviously they can put Asar Thompson in foul trouble, and then what do you do? Now, if we do look at the Western, let's say they get through the Eastern Conference pretty easily. Who are they versing in the finals? The Spurs, the OKC Thunder, the Nuggets even, right? Any of those teams just have more star power than this team currently. The Pistons are very, very talented, but they're very young still. They have an extremely young core. Duren is not in his prime yet. Cade is not in his prime yet. Ron Holland has not taken the leap that I personally want him to yet. Can this team actually face off against a squad like OKC, against a squad like the Nuggets, right? The Spurs. We saw them lose to the Spurs. So overall, do I actually think they have a chance to win the championship this year? 100%. Do I think that it happens? I'm still a little iffy. They very clearly have a chance to win the championship, and I think that they are a real contending team. The East is currently the weakest it's basically ever been. They have a physical, young, athletic core. They have shooters. They have a closer in Cade Cunningham. They have a great playmaker. They have great defense, right? They have all of the recipes for a championship level team, but we have to see if they can put it together in the playoffs. Let me know who your favorite is to win the championship this year. I obviously am rooting for the Pistons. I'm a Pistons fan, but I can obviously see an argument for the Spurs, the Nuggets, the OKC Thunder, maybe even the Celtics. I don't really have any other team winning right now, but we'll see. Again, videos on all of those teams coming soon. I got an MVP conversation video coming out. I got a full playoff preview video coming out. I kind of want to make another Lakers video because that loss last night was completely embarrassing, but made a ton of Lakers videos. So we'll see if I do that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking time out of your day to watch this, and peace.